Let's try and clear up some rumors on Dylan Cease and the possibility of him being traded and when. Because there were reports out recently like, oh, it could happen really soon. And then you put out there that you think that some of the starting pitching could go. And then Chris Getz could say, okay, who wants me? Who needs me now? So is that how you see it playing out?
Well, I reported what I heard, which is that Chris Getz is telling teams that he most likely will wait until the bigger pitching names, Yamamoto, Snell, etc., go off the board. At that point, teams' appetites will be further whetted. The ones who missed out, the ones who are interested now are still going to be there, and a number of teams need multiple starting pitchers, so it's not out of the question someone could sign Snell or Yamamoto and then trade for Cease as well. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to do that. If a team pushes him at the winter meetings, for instance, and says, we want to do this, this, and this for Dylan Cease. It's a great deal. Take it or leave it. If it's a great deal in Chris Getz's eyes, maybe he does take it. These things are always fluid. There's never a set timeline, a certain timeline. But what I reported is what I heard. What Getz is telling teams, that seems to be his preference, but a guy's preference, a GM's preference, can always change.
Who of the two teams that I feel like should be in on him have the most to lose by not overpaying for Dylan Cease? Essentially moving fastest, Reds or the Orioles?
The most to lose by not getting him? Is that what you're asking
Yeah,
about?
basically, yeah. Being done with it, being nobody to dance with when all the chips have fallen and there's no Dylan Cease anymore. Who has the most to lose?
Well, Dylan Cease is in many ways the most attractive guy available in trade from a starting pitching standpoint. Why? 2 years of control. Glasnow is one, and Burns is one. It's a different scenario with those kinds of pitchers. Cease, with the 2 years of control and the second place Cy Young finish and the youth relative to other pitchers, he is the belle of the ball from a trade standpoint. As for who has the most to lose, in my view, both those teams do, because they're not going to be most likely at the top of the market for Blake Snell or Yamamoto. It's reasonable to say that. So their best chance of getting an ace-like pitcher is going the trade route, and Cease is your best option in that market. The Orioles have a ton of position players in the minor leagues, good prospects that they can move, a ton of them. They, in fact, probably should at this point try to consolidate and pair off some of those guys to get a better single player or one who is more established. The Reds are somewhat of a similar position. They're very deep in young talent as well. They have guys that they can move. So I don't know how this is going to play out, and I'm not even sure either one of those teams ultimately is going to get Dylan Cease. But what I would agree with you on, Eric, is that both those teams need him, or at least someone like him, because they're not going to be paying $150 million for Snell if that's what it takes, or $200+ million for Yamamoto if that's what it takes. That's not where they're going to be.